Apricity for the Soul is a deeply intimate poetry collection that traces the beautiful evolution of becoming. Through raw reflection and vivid imagery, Suzan Lazy captures the moments that shape us. First loves, lingering heartbreaks, girlhood, grief, healing, and letting go. Moving between softness and sharp honesty, these poems explore what it means to feel everything all at once, to crave tenderness in a harsh world, to outgrow versions of yourself you once clung to, and to find comfort in both connection and solitude. Each piece reads like a page torn from a diary. This collection is about transformation. It honors the versions of ourselves we've lost and the ones we're still becoming. With recurring motifs of warmth, memory, and seasonal change, Apricity for the Soul invites readers to sit with their emotions rather than rush past them. This is the first time that I've ever actually reviewed a poetry collection. Go along with me.
I am the
How's it going, guys? Alec the author here. Welcome to my indie author review series, Alec Wants to Read Your Book. I put out the call and received hundreds of submissions from indie authors for books that need to be read, need to be reviewed, need to be shown to you guys. And today we have something special because I'm actually holding another physical book. This one was sent to me by Suzan Lazy, and it is a poetry collection called Apricity for the Soul. This is the first time that I've ever sat down and taken a deep look at a poetry collection, so I'm very excited for this. I hope that you are too, and I hope that you enjoy this review. But before I get into the review, let me just go ahead and give a disclaimer here. All opinions expressed in this video are solely my opinions. The beautiful thing about books is that every book will be somebody's favorite, and every book will be somebody's least favorite. If you don't like something, it doesn't mean it's bad by any stretch, and the same goes for me. If I don't like something, that doesn't mean that it's bad. It just means that it didn't resonate with me like it would resonate with somebody else. So I encourage anyone that is even a little bit interested in any of the books that you see here on my channel to please click the link that will be in the description below to support the author, get yourself a copy of their book, read it for yourself, and formulate your own opinion. That being said, it's time to dive into this thing and review it. Normally I have several categories that I use to review books on this channel. This won't be the only poetry collection that I review, so I figured I ought to tweak those categories a bit so that it aligns more with poetry. So for a poetry collection, we're going to be looking at these categories to review it. We're going to be looking at the cover, the writing, the flow, the presentation, the emotion, and then I will give an overall score. I'll explain a little bit more in depth as to what each of these categories will be when I actually get there. So let's start with one of my favorite parts, the cover. I'll put a JPEG up on the screen for you guys as well, just in case you can't see it too well, because let's face it, my camera kind of sucks. I like this cover. I like this cover quite a bit. It's simple, but also kind of eye-catching. I think the simplicity of it, honestly, is what catches my eye. It makes me curious as to what's inside this thing. The text on it is very nice. It makes it desirable. I mean, it speaks to what this poetry collection is going to be. It's going to be simple, but it's going to be raw. It matches the feelings of what you get inside of this thing. Normally, I would want more colors and imagery and stuff like that for it to really catch the eye of somebody just walking past. But for what this is, I think that is pretty close to perfect. That's a 4 out of 5. Very nice. Very nice cover. Let's move on to the actual writing. It is exceptional. It's a 5 out of 5 for me. It is well written. It is well paced. Some of these poems in here, I feel like I'm reading an exceptionally short story as opposed to just a poem. No errors, incredibly technically sound. Well done, Suzan. 5 out of 5 for the writing. Let's go to the flow. The flow of a poem is the rhythm of it. And I'm not talking about the stuff they made us learn in school, like iambic pentameter and all of that crap. I just mean how it feels to read. Poems are supposed to be lyrical, they're supposed to flow very nicely, and you can tell when the flow of something is right. There is an exceptional mix of poetry devices inside of this book. You've got everything from things that feel like exceptionally short stories to a more traditional rhyming flow poem. It feels very natural, but also in a way very raw. The rhymes work well and the rhythm is solid. I got permission from the author to actually give some examples. I feel like with poetry collection especially, I should give some examples of my favorites in the book. And for flow, I have one that I would like to read to you now. This is Easy by Suzan Lazy. You told me I was the one, like it was easy. I made you feel free and warm like the sun. You told me I am a flower, and you're a bee. You took my pollen, like it was easy. Love comes with a fee. It isn't a ton, you told me. I happily bleed. You cut me open, like it was easy. You'll leave, and I'll plead. But it was all in good fun. You told me, like it was easy. To me, that just kind of captures the flow of a lot of the poems in this book. It's extremely solid. 5 out of 5 on the flow. Well done. The presentation. When I talk about presentation, I mean like how the poems are presented in here. Like, for example, in here you have small illustrations. The text font matches the font on the cover. There's more small illustrations and things like that. You want a poetry collection, I feel, to be a bit more artful maybe than a novel, because typically with a typical novel, when you open it up, you just see words on the page. With poetry, I like to see a bit more. I like my mind to have something else tangible that goes along with the piece that I'm reading, and this does that perfectly. The best description I can give for the presentation inside of this book for the poetry is beauty through simplicity. 5 out of 5 on the presentation. Perfect. Well done. Emotion. Every poem has to have emotion in it. If your poetry is without emotion, it's just awful. So when I'm reading a poetry collection, I take the overall emotions that are in the book and kind of add it all together into one concise feeling. So for this, I have another example that I would like to read. This is called Black Coffee. I miss you in ways only coffee drinkers would understand. Life is like black coffee, just a little bland. I learned to make do, but my sugar is you. I miss jitters, bad breath, the small price to pay for something so sweet. I crave to drink you, come yellow my teeth. The best way I can describe the emotion in this collection is that it's a gut punch every time. Sad feelings, there's happy moments, and I could feel each and every one of those emotions that these poems were conveying as I read it. Because of that, because I didn't have to go find it, I mean, it's a 5 out of 5 in the emotion category. Overall, what do I give Apricity for the Soul by Suzan Lazy? If you couldn't tell, it's a 5 out of 5. Suzan, congratulations. Your book is the second to get a perfect 5 out of 5 from me. I'm honestly not a huge poetry guy. I mean, I've read the classics and epic poetry and Shakespeare, of course. Poetry taps into something else in me that reading a novel doesn't. And I typically read novels just because it's just what I like. But I was honestly blown away by this little collection. It really does feel like I'm reading a diary. I mean, you can go through stages and stages of this woman's life, the things that happened to her, what she felt in those moments, through every single one of these poems. It's relatable, emotional, it's very dark in some places, but it's also quite bright in others. It takes you through the full emotional spectrum. The beauty through its simplicity makes this an absolute must-read for me. Suzan Lazy, thank you so much for sending me a copy of your collection. This is going to hold a special place in my heart, and it could hold a special place on your shelf as well. Make sure you click the link down in the description below, get yourself a copy, and support the author. Thank you again for that copy. It's beautiful. And thank you, the viewer who stayed to the end of this video. If you wouldn't mind, give this video a thumbs up, share it around with your friends. It really does help to get the word out about all of these authors. And if you want to help me out and want this channel to grow, hit that subscribe button and ring the little bell so that way you're notified every time I post a new video. It's completely free for you, and it really does go a long way. Speaking of going the extra mile long way though, I gotta say thanks to my patrons over at patreon.com/AlecTheAuthor. These are the people that grease the wheels that make this engine go. Without my patrons, I would be nothing. So thank you, patrons. Thank you. I really appreciate it. You too. Yes, you can get your name on this incredible list of people. Head on over to patreon.com/AlecTheAuthor today. There's a link down in the description below. There you can earn yourself some fabulous rewards for being a supporter, and you can support for as little as $1 a month, all the way up to $100 a month. That's crazy. Nobody's done that one yet. Don't be the first one to do that. But for every support tier, you get some sick rewards. So head on over, check that out, support the channel today. You guys are awesome. That's it for this video, but remember, be excellent to each other. And I'll see you in the next review. I want to read your book.
One